Well, good morning, my people of the tubes. This is going to be a support video for Ebomey and his ghetto giveaway. If you haven't seen Ebomey, haven't heard of him, I will put a link down below. Go give him a look. If you like what you see, sub him up. Tell him Membrado sent you. Now, why Ebomey, you're asking? Did I not do a entry to your giveaway instead of a support video? Well, because of the draconian laws and lawgivers of my state. More than just the not having a concealed carry permit. Here in Connecticut, yes, boys and girls, I've just given away what state I live in. Until now, I've always simply said Central New England. But the fact of which state I live in plays an intricate role in why I'm doing what I'm doing. I've only just learned of this in the last 24 hours as to this law. I'm sure you've all heard of the Newtown shooter. He brought to bear a Bushmaster, an AR-15, and because it's a scary-looking military weapon, it's been banned, not only from use or purchase, but is banned from possession in this state. You get caught even possessing one, and you go to prison. Why is that? Well, let's do a real brief review, ladies and gentlemen, on what an AR-15 is. It is a semi-automatic rifle. Now, we're not going to get into caliber. We're not going to get into magazine size. These are irrelevant. It is a semi-automatic rifle. You pull the trigger, you get one bullet downrange. You have to re-pull the trigger to get another bullet. Not to mention, an AR-15 has never been used as a war weapon unless it was an individual took it with him instead of the issued weapon given to him by the government. I mean, that is a possibility that an AR-15 or two have seen service in war. I can't say it isn't a possibility. But as a government-issued weapon, it never happened. So what makes it a scary-looking military weapon? Well, since in its function, how it fires, it is no different than a... now, I may get these backwards. There's a Remington and a Winchester. One is a Model 100, and the other is a Model 740. I believe the Remington is the 740 and the Winchester is the 100, but I'm not a gunsmith and I'm not an expert on guns. So I could have those backwards. And I've never owned either, by the way. The functionality of the AR-15 is exactly identical to the other two. Now, I'm not going to get into whether it's blowback or whether it's spring action. The fact is, one pull of the trigger gives you one bullet downrange. What is the difference between these three weapons? Simple. The furniture on the outside. By furniture, I mean whether it has a one-piece wood stock looking like a deer rifle, like the Remington 740, or whether it looks like the AR-15, which has... now, I'm not certain just what those grips are on Ebomey's model, but I'm just going to say the names that I know, like the Magpul grips and the Picatinny rails and the, I'm not even sure about brand name, but the sliding rear stock so that you can adjust it to whoever's shooting it, whether it be your teenager or a full-grown adult like me, or a small woman. All that stuff is accoutrement. It's like taking the 740, you can have it fitted with sporterized stock and You know, you can have scope rails put on it, and then it looks a lot more like the AR-15 than it does like the 740 that you might know from a news article. And all that stuff does is change how it looks. Nothing more, nothing less. But because it's a scary-looking weapon, it's banned here in Connecticut. Funny, they didn't ban some of the other weapon materials he was using. Case in point. What do you call those right there? Those are propane tanks, a 20 and a 30 pounder. This mentally deranged individual took propane bombs into the school. He never got a chance to use them, but he had them. Why weren't they banned? Why weren't tanks banned? He had handguns that were semi-automatic. Why weren't they banned? Because it's all political. Pure and simple. Somebody wasn't getting their cut of the sale of AR-15s. Yeah. Graft. So, that's what makes me ineligible for your drawing, Ebomey. Sad, but true. Let me also state that I chose, intentionally so, not to get a concealed carry. You see, I have seen the political winds blowing in this state since I came back to it in '08. And it is my impression that a concealed carry permit in this state is merely putting your name on a list for when they decide to come around on confiscation. So I have intentionally chosen not to get a concealed carry. That's what makes me ineligible for the 380, which I had been hoping to put in my wife's bedside drawer for her to have something small but useful for when I'm not to home. Yeah, because we live in a really nasty ghetto. I'm not going to show it to you since it's not going to bear any usefulness in this video. But I can tell you that within half a mile of me, there are 19 registered sex offenders. There are drug dealers and gangbangers and you name it. Unfortunately, the only reason I'm in this hood is because when I needed an apartment to get away from a neighbor who wouldn't be quiet and I wasn't getting any sleep, this is the only place I could go that would allow me to bring my dog. The dog is gone now and we're looking for a new place, but all things being equal, they're tough to come by. New places, that is. Well, that's not the point of this video either. So, with that, I will say peace out.